Welcome to Kamchatka Peninsula in far eastern Russia. Smoking stratovolcanoes dominate this frozen, untamed geographical frontier. Glacial rivers flow at frigid 0-degree temperatures. Here, an apex predator begins his crucial hunt. Behold the mighty Kamchatka Brown Bear. He weighs a staggering 1,000 pounds today. A massive scar marks his injured left shoulder. Approaching winter triggers a biological phenomenon called hyperphagia. It is a mandatory, extreme, pre-hibernation feeding frenzy. He requires 20,000 calories every single day. Survival demands extreme tactical precision and immense energy. The rushing river holds his primary prey source. Millions of sockeye salmon swim upstream to spawn. These fish navigated 2,000 miles of ocean. Their crimson bodies are dense packets of fat. The massive bear steps into the freezing rapids. Thick, double-layered fur provides essential thermal insulation. Water resistance heavily burdens his physical biomechanics here. He braces against a jagged volcanic rock slab. This specific vantage point minimizes his energy expenditure. The Steller's sea eagle seeks an opportunistic meal. It boasts a massive 8-foot wingspan overhead. The red fox patrols the muddy shoreline silently. Both secondary species rely on the apex predator. The churning water explodes with frantic jumping salmon. He calculates the underwater refraction of the light. He lunges with explosive, terrifying physical power. The dense water severely massive paws. He misses his first desperate high-energy strike. Frigid water rapidly drains his vital core heat. He quickly resets his stance on slippery rocks. His highly evolved thermal vision penetrates the glare. His bite force exceeds 1,200 psi. He catches the large fish flawlessly. He carries the struggling prize to the shoreline. These specific organs yield the highest lipid calories. He discards the remaining protein-rich muscle tissue. The sea eagle swoops down with extreme precision. The dominant bear returns to the icy water. He must successfully catch 30 fish today. This adds 5 pounds of fat daily. This brown fat sustains his 6-month hibernation. Yet, his ecological role extends beyond simple survival. They slowly decay into the mossy volcanic soil. Decaying flesh releases rich marine nitrogen isotopes. This specific nitrogen acts as a potent fertilizer. It feeds the ancient taiga pine tree roots. %80 of forest nitrogen comes from salmon. The trees grow 20% as a result. The bears act as vital biological nutrient distributors. Without these predators, the mighty forest would starve. Without tree roots, the riverbanks would quickly erode. Without the river, the primary prey cannot spawn. The sun lowers behind the smoking black volcanoes. The glacial rapids continue their roaring downstream journey. The Great Bear rests heavily on the shoreline. The satiated sea eagle sleeps in the canopy. The bear leaves scraps to feed the earth. The river operates as the planet's immortal bloodline. This is the eternal feast of the Titans. The Zambezi riverbank bakes under brutal sun. The Zambezi riverbank bakes under brutal sun. Heat radiates from the scorched earth. Survival here demands absolute resilience. A massive Nile crocodile guards her legacy. She protects exactly 12 leathery eggs. Her prehistoric armor is nearly impenetrable. She boasts a crushing bite force. £5,000 per square inch. Very few creatures would dare approach. But the African bush breeds audacity. Enter the fearless honey badger. A stocky mammal with boundless aggression. He seeks a high-protein meal today. His metabolism runs incredibly fast. He climbs the steep, sandy embankment. He spots the hidden excavated crater. The crocodile senses his heavy footsteps. She opens her jaws in silent threat. The badger does not care at all. He possesses incredibly thick, loose skin. It protects him from lethal bites. The standoff begins in the dust.
He steps into the danger zone. The reptile strikes with terrifying speed. The badger dodges the fatal blow. He lunges straight toward the nest. Absolute psychological dominance is fully displayed. He lunges straight toward the nest. He bites into a white egg. The shell cracks under his teeth. Sand flies into the dry air.
Jaws snap shut like a steel trap.
He secures his rich, heavy prize. The badger fiercely growls back. He backs away with the egg. The raid creates absolute chaos.
The scent of yolk fills the air.
Opportunists are always watching nearby.
Two yellow-billed kites circle above. Three Nile monitors wait in ambush. These lizards crave unguarded eggs.
The riverbank ecosystem is fully connected. One violent act feeds many mouths. The mother crocodile fiercely resets. She covers the remaining vulnerable clutch. She snaps at a creeping monitor. Order is violently restored here. His audacious gamble paid off completely. Size does not always dictate victory. Armor can be bypassed by attitude. Nature favors the relentlessly bold. This badger refuses to ever yield. He rests his heavily muscled frame. Shadows stretch across the dry riverbank. She will not sleep tonight. The wilderness is brutally unforgiving. Only the highly aggressive truly thrive. The river flows quietly onward. Tomorrow brings another brutal battle.
In the furthest reaches of the North American continent, a sprawling, aquatic wilderness breathes. This is the River of Grass, a slow-moving labyrinth defining the Florida Everglades. Here, the dawn reveals a delicate, mist-shrouded kingdom hiding profound and ancient mysteries. Unseen currents softly wind their way through dense, impenetrable forests of tangled mangrove roots. Beneath this calm, glassy expanse, one of Earth's most formidable prehistoric survivors patiently waits. Submerged in the quiet emerald shallows, the American alligator embodies the spirit of the swamp. Floating effortlessly just beneath the surface, it is utterly motionless, blending seamlessly into the algae. To gaze upon this creature is to look back in time millions of years. It is an apex predator that has quietly outlived the mighty dinosaurs themselves. The dark waters ripple gently, masking the silent grace of a supreme and patient hunter. Elsewhere in these shadowed mangroves, other masters of the wetland begin their daily routines. A raccoon carefully washes its paws, navigating the tangled roots with calculated precision. Deeper still, the American crocodile shares this brackish domain, a rare and elusive coastal ghost. These two crocodilian cousins coexist in this unique ecosystem, a fragile biological harmony. The sun slowly climbs higher, casting long, golden reflections across the undisturbed, winding channels. In the deeper, sunlit springs, gentle giants drift with a slow and rhythmic pace. The West Indian manatee glides gracefully, a colossal vegetarian grazing in the warm currents. These solitary wanderers rely entirely on the tranquil, undisturbed sanctuaries of the vast wetlands. Above the slow-moving water, the canopy suddenly explodes with vibrant and brilliant flashes of color. A flock of roseate spoonbills wades through the shallows, their broad bills sweeping the mud. They sift the murky depths for small fish, bringing a flush of pink to the green. Nearby, a great blue heron stands frozen like a statue, watching the water intently. With a sudden, lightning-fast strike, the heron claims its first vital meal of the morning. The avian chorus grows louder, echoing through the sprawling canopy of ancient cypress trees. A green tree frog clings delicately to a broad leaf, glistening with heavy morning dew. The vast, uninterrupted sawgrass prairie stretches endlessly beneath a massive, towering expanse of blue sky. As the morning mist completely burns away, the immense power of the sun takes hold. Heat penetrates the shallow water, slowly warming the cold blood of the reptilian rulers. Our alligator slowly climbs onto a muddy bank, absorbing the vital, life-giving solar energy. It is a slow, methodical awakening in a world governed entirely by patience and time. To truly understand this magnificent beast, we must examine its extraordinary and ancient physical armor. Every inch of its massive body is a masterpiece of specialized evolutionary engineering. Thick, bony plates called osteoderms run in rigid rows down its deeply textured back. This rugged armor acts as a highly effective solar panel, absorbing and retaining crucial heat. But this rugged exterior belies a creature of profound and astonishing sensory sensitivity. Along the powerful jaws lie hundreds of tiny domed black dots, almost invisible to the eye. These are integumentary sensory organs, an intricate network of incredibly sensitive pressure receptors. They allow the alligator to detect the faintest ripples from a single drop of water. Even in absolute darkness, it can effortlessly locate struggling prey through vibrations alone. The tangled mangrove roots stand perfectly still, reflecting quietly in the undisturbed, glassy black water. The alligator's eyes sit high atop its skull, evolved perfectly for a submerged aquatic lifestyle. A secondary, translucent eyelid sweeps across the reptilian eye, acting as natural underwater goggles. Vertical pupils expand rapidly in the dim water, capturing every available speck of ambient light. Its visual acuity is unparalleled, tracking movement above and below the surface with lethal precision. The powerful, muscular tail acts as a massive rudder, silently propelling the heavy, armored body. The vast expanse of the Everglades remains a silent, untamed wilderness, completely devoid of man. Other predators here also boast extraordinary adaptations, like the elusive and highly endangered Florida panther. Retractable claws and powerful hind legs make this big cat a ghost of the cypress swamp. In the dense underbrush, a cottonmouth snake slowly unhinges its jaw, flashing its brilliant white warning. Its heat-sensing facial pits allow this venomous serpent to strike its warm-blooded prey with deadly accuracy. The green tree frog possesses specialized toe pads, allowing it to adhere to incredibly smooth surfaces. Every creature here is locked in an evolutionary arms race, honed by millions of years. But none are quite as perfectly adapted to this wetland as the supreme river king. The alligator's incredible lung capacity allows it to remain submerged and completely hidden for hours. Blood flow is expertly diverted from non-essential organs to maximize precious oxygen during long dives. The thick canopy overhead filters the harsh sunlight, casting dappled, moving shadows across the swamp. Beneath the surface, its powerful webbed feet act as precise hydrodynamic brakes, controlling subtle movements. The sheer bite force of its mighty jaws is among the most powerful on Earth. Yet, these same terrifying jaws can carry a fragile egg with astonishing maternal gentleness. It is a perfect predator, a master of both brute strength and incredibly delicate control. Survival in this unforgiving ecosystem requires unmatched stealth, explosive power, and unwavering, supreme patience. The alligator lies submerged among the thick reeds, completely camouflaged in a sea of green. It is an ambush predator, perfectly willing to wait days for a single, fleeting opportunity. A sudden splash in the distance triggers an immediate, predatory response in the great reptile. Propelled by massive tail thrusts, it glides through the dark water without making a sound. High above, an osprey circles the shallow flats, scanning the water for an unwary mullet. With folded wings, the raptor dives gracefully, plunging violently into the river of grass below. It emerges triumphantly with a struggling fish firmly locked in its razor-sharp, hooked talons. Back in the shadowy shallows, a river otter violently wrestles with a hard-shelled freshwater crab. These playful yet fiercely intelligent predators utilize pure agility to outmaneuver their heavily armored neighbors. The vast wetland stretches out toward the horizon, a seemingly endless expanse of pristine isolation. Unaware of the danger lurking beneath, a wading bird steps carefully into the deeper water. The alligator calculates the distance with terrifying precision, muscles coiling like a tightly wound spring. In an explosion of white water and terrifying speed, the apex predator violently lunges forward. The jaws snap shut with a deafening crack, securing the catch in a vice-like grip. It is a harsh, violent truth of the swamp, where survival relies on successful predation. The Florida panther stalks silently through the dry brush, hunting for a solitary white-tailed deer. Its golden eyes lock onto its target, waiting for the absolute perfect moment to pounce. A sudden leap closes the distance, showcasing the raw, feline power of this elusive cat. The great mangrove swamps breathe quietly, undisturbed by the fleeting violence of the food chain. The cottonmouth strikes with blinding speed, neutralizing a small rodent instantly with its potent venom. Every hunt is a critical expenditure of energy, calculated carefully against the chance of failure. The alligator drags its meal beneath the surface, securing its hard-earned, life-sustaining caloric prize. It performs a powerful death roll, utilizing sheer torque to dismantle the sizable, heavy prey. The murky waters quickly settle, returning the wetland to a state of calm, deceptive tranquility. Even a creature this powerful must remain constantly vigilant, conserving energy for the brutal dry season. The sprawling sawgrass prairie gently sways in the wind, a completely untamed and wild frontier. As the feast concludes, the alligator rests silently, digesting its meal under the warm sun. The delicate balance of life and death plays out relentlessly in this unforgiving, watery kingdom. To survive the river of grass is to master the intricate art of opportunistic patience. Yet, this terrifying apex predator is much more than just a brutal instrument of death. The alligator is the undisputed architect of the Everglades, a master engineer of the ecosystem. As the dry season approaches, the endless rivers recede, leaving vast stretches of cracked, parched mud. The oppressive heat threatens to completely dry out the crucial lifeblood of the sprawling wetland. It is during this desperate drought that the mighty alligator performs its most vital ecological task. Using its massive snout, powerful tail, and claws, it aggressively excavates deep into the mud. The untouched wilderness silently endures the scorching sun, an endless landscape holding its collective breath. These deep excavations, known as gator holes, reach down into the hidden, underlying freshwater aquifer. As the surrounding marsh turns to dust, these depressions fill with cool, vital, life-saving water. The gator hole quickly becomes a crowded, desperate oasis for countless suffering, dehydrated wetland inhabitants. A family of raccoons cautiously approaches the muddy edge, driven by a powerful, unyielding thirst. River otters find refuge in these deep pools, swimming cautiously around the resting, tolerant alligator. High above, the relentless sun beats down on a landscape completely dominated by harsh, dry extremes. Roseate spoonbills and great blue herons crowd the shallow edges, feasting on densely concentrated fish. Without the alligator's tireless excavation, this rich biodiversity would inevitably perish in the baking sun. Even the green tree frog finds a moist sanctuary within the cool, shaded, muddy banks. The alligator tolerates these guests, inadvertently acting as the supreme, life-giving guardian of the swamp. It is a profound paradox. The wetland's most feared killer is also its greatest savior. The vast expanse of the parched sawgrass shimmers intensely under the hot, distorting atmospheric haze. As the alligator guards its pool, it ensures the survival of its future prey base. This intricate web of interdependence showcases the absolute brilliance of natural evolutionary ecosystem engineering. Eventually, heavy, dark storm clouds begin to gather on the distant, oppressive Floridian summer horizon. The first drops of rain shatter the glassy surface of the crowded, muddy gator hole. The wet season returns, and the alligator's critical architectural work is finally submerged once again. The once parched wilderness drinks deeply, transforming back into a lush, thriving river of grass instantly. This cyclical dance of drought and flood is perfectly orchestrated by the ancient, armored reptile. The alligator's role extends far beyond predation. It is the fundamental foundation of Everglades survival. Without this prehistoric ecosystem engineer, the vibrant river of grass would simply cease to exist. As evening approaches, the fierce heat of the sun slowly dissipates into a cooler twilight. The sprawling river of grass is bathed in stunning, vibrant hues of orange and deep purple. A profound silence settles over the mangroves, broken only by the distant calls of nightbirds. The alligator glides effortlessly through the mirrored surface, leaving a long, incredibly gentle, V-shaped wake. It is a creature that demands our deepest respect, reverence, and absolute unwavering ecological protection. To witness the American alligator in its natural realm is a deeply humbling, primitive experience. They are the living, breathing descendants of an era long lost to the deep fossil record. The sprawling wetland stretches out toward the dying light, a pristine, profoundly beautiful wild sanctuary. They have survived catastrophic asteroid impacts, brutal ice ages, and dramatic, violent shifts in climate. Yet, their greatest challenge now is navigating a delicate world increasingly shaped by human encroachment. Preserving the Everglades is not merely about saving a single, beautiful landscape from absolute destruction. It is about protecting the intricate, fragile biological network that sustains countless, perfectly adapted species. The Florida panther, the manatee, and the alligator all rely completely on this interconnected web. When we protect the river of grass, we protect the very beating heart of Florida. A solitary great blue heron takes flight, silhouetted beautifully against the fading, spectacular, vibrant twilight sky. The alligator emits a deep, guttural bellow, a powerful frequency that physically vibrates the dark water. It is a prehistoric symphony, a timeless declaration of dominance, survival, and profound, untamed resilience. This ancient armor continues to thrive, patrolling the quiet, murky channels with absolute, supreme authority. The pristine darkness of the swamp takes hold, untouched by the artificial lights of humanity. In the shadows, the glowing, reflective tapetum lucidum of the alligator's eyes pierce the blackness. They stand as enduring sentinels of the marsh, fierce guardians of a highly fragile kingdom. As long as the waters flow, these magnificent reptiles will continue their silent, vital reign. The Everglades remains a testament to the raw, undeniable, and absolute power of wild nature. Let us ensure that this slow-moving river and its ancient rulers flow on for eternity. The ancient armor of the dinosaurs survives today, beating strongly, keeping the entire wetland alive. The Sud is a vast floating labyrinth. Dark waters hide ancient, silent killers. Here, patience is the ultimate weapon. A statue stands among the reeds. The shoebill, his theals, watches the murky depths. Her slate-blue plumage blends perfectly. She does not move a single muscle. Below, a Senegus bichir stirs slowly. The mudfish seeks a fleeting breath.
A Goliath heron stalks nearby waters.
The heron ignores the deeper shadows. The swamp breeds a heavy silence.
Death waits beneath the floating vegetation. The shoebill calculates every subtle ripple. She is a master of the ambush.
But she is not alone today. He is thick, muscular, and hungry. The python senses the warm avian blood. He slowly navigates the tangled roots. The mudfish escapes into the muck. The snake has found larger prey. The African rock python tastes the air. He rises silently toward the surface. The shoebill remains frozen in place. Her pale yellow beak points straight down. She detects a shift in the water. The tension builds in her neck. The python coils his heavy body. Wet scales slide over rotting vegetation. The snake prepares a leap. The bird stares into the abyss.
Both predators are absolutely motionless now. The swamp holds its collective breath. A single drop of water falls. He launches his massive head upward, fangs bare in a silent scream. She drops her massive, heavy head. Her beak strikes like a guillotine. A brutal, bone-crushing impact echoes out. She pins the tiny python instantly down. The tiny snake thrashes violently in pain. Thick coils whip the murky water. The bird maintains her deadly grip. Her height gives her complete leverage. The python cannot wrap her legs. The struggle is violent but brief. The snake slowly ceases his thrashing. The avian predator has conquered today. She releases the defeated snake cautiously. The shoebill readjusts her ruffled feathers. The heron watches from a distance. Scavengers will soon claim the remains. Nothing is wasted in this wetland. The mudfish returns to the surface. The swamp reclaims its eerie silence. The food chain's perfectly intact. The shoebill resumes her statuesque pose. She is the undisputed queen here. The swamp is a chessboard. It is filled with silent killers. Victory belongs to the patient ones. You must hold your breath longer. You must remain a stone forever. The floating mats hide many secrets. Nature operates with absolute, brutal efficiency. Beauty and violence exist in harmony. The Sud keeps its ancient rhythm. The sun sets on the swamp. The statue waits for tomorrow's dawn. She will never abandon her post. The wild remains untamed and pure. Welcome to the blinding edge of Etosha Pan. Welcome to the blinding edge of Etosha Pan. Here, survival is forged in chalky white dust. The blistering golden hour brings no relief today. Springboks watch the horizon with nervous anticipation. They know this pale wasteland holds hidden ghosts. Mountain zebras arrive to dig for scarce water. Every step kicks up clouds of suffocating powder. Their striped patterns blur against the shimmering heat. But they are not alone in this desert. A king observes from the dried scrub brush. He is a lean, battle-hardened desert phantom. Hunger drives his calculating yellow eyes forward. He must feed to survive. Another harsh week. The mountain zebra is a formidable, heavy prize. A single meal can sustain him for days. But the risk of this hunt is immense. The zebra's primary defense is fiercely lethal. Slowly, the apex predator inches closer to prey. The springboks freeze, sensing a shift in wind. A faint scent of death reaches their nostrils. They scatter, leaving the zebras completely exposed. His spiky mane blends with the dead grass. He calculates the distance to the largest stallion. The golden sun dips lower behind the dust. Shadows stretch across the fractured, barren ground. The stallion raises his head, ears swiveling fast. He snorts, striking the hard earth in warning. The lion knows he has been spotted now. The element of surprise is completely gone. Now, it is a game of raw power. A massive cloud of white dust erupts upward. Rhythmic, heavy hooves crack the dry earth loudly. The stallion pivots away from the charging beast. A sledgehammer backward kick flies through the air. The lion drops his weight instantly to dodge. A single misstep here brings instant, fatal trauma. The terrifying whoosh of hooves muffles all sound. The lethal hooves miss the king by inches. He must feed to survive. The stallion violently pulls free and safely escapes. The dust settles slowly over the empty pan. The lion stands alone, panting in the heat. He gambled his life and lost the meal. Spotted hyenas watch from a safe distance away. They are opportunistic scavengers, waiting for any mistake. Had the kick connected, they would feast tonight. But the king lives to hunt another day. He rests his heavy head on bleeding paws. Every hunt is a deadly roll of dice. A predator is never truly safe from prey. The harsh reality of the desert sets in. The ecosystem demands perfection from its absolute top. The zebras regroup miles across the vast plain. They are survivors of beautiful war. blinding dust preserves their ancient, wild dance. Night begins to swallow the harsh Etosha pan.
The hyenas finally retreat into the deep shadows. The lion finds a high vantage point quickly. His yellow eyes never stop scanning the dark. He respects the brutal strength of the zebra. In this chalky wasteland, arrogance brings swift death. The king must constantly risk his own crown. Here, the hunter can instantly become the hunted. Nature is both incredibly cruel and profoundly fair. The eternal duel of survival simply continues onward.